As I upload this video, it's Halloween, which is why I'm going to tell you a verifiable true story of a cursed skull from a Spanish galleon on a Hebridean island. How did it get there? Who suffered from its curse? Whose skull was it? And where is it now? If you're interested in the people, places and events in Scottish history, then click the subscribe button at the bottom right of the screen and ring the notification bell to be told when I upload new videos. In the meantime, let me tell you a story. I'm in the grounds of the Western Isles Hotel, and that is Tobermory Bay. Now, there are a few stories of witchcraft on this island, and one of them concerns a Spanish galleon that exploded out in that bay in 1588. Some say it was blown up by the same witch that destroyed the Spanish Armada on England's south coast. Some say that it was blown up by a Lochaber witch sending demonic cats. I'll make a video about some of the other possible explanations, but today I'm not so much concerned about the 16th century explosion. I want to talk about the skull that was brought up from the wreckage 500 years later. Talk of Spanish gold has meant that folks have come here over the centuries trying to dive for treasure. From the 1600s onward, dukes, crown agents and commercial teams have tried. A bronze cannon was raised around 1740 and is now at Inveraray Castle, but finds have been elusive. Some say the shipwreck's haunted. Either way, the sunken remains of the Tobermory galleon has never given up its Spanish doubloons. However, in 1952, a team of Royal Navy divers came to the Sound of Mull to dive for that elusive prize, the sunken pay ship of the Spanish Armada. They didn't find gold. They didn't even find the galleon. But they did find a human skull. The senior diver who first brought the skull ashore was Commander Buster Crabbe. That's right, Buster Crabbe, the frogman. Sound fishy? He was actually an amphibian, or a crustacean. Detail, forget the crab man. Let me just tell you about Richard Forrester. Forrester was a highfalutin hotel guy who bought the Western Isles Hotel for £45,000 in 1968. He set about some upgrades. New carpets, new staff uniforms, the usual kind of thing. Coming up from London and decking local staff out in tartan. You know the idea. Anyway, when he was rummaging around the stock cupboard in what was then the cocktail bar, he found a skull. Now, if he'd been told the full story of the skull and Buster Crabbe, he might have left it there. But he hadn't. He was told that it had been put in the stock cupboard after a barman knocked it off a shelf and cracked it. The young man crashed his motorbike that very evening and cracked his own skull. Now, there was no need for this coincidence to bother Mr. Forrester. Backward islanders and their suspicious stories. He decided that the skull would make a nice feature hung up in the main bar of the hotel. So he drilled a hole in the back to attach it to the wall with a screw. And according to his daughter, a bit of the bone broke. That night, Forrester suffered a minor stroke, as did the man who'd held the skull whilst Forrester did the drilling. That's 3 coincidences associated with that skull now. Now, let's be honest, he's only had a minor stroke. I mean, that could have been caused by anything. Alcohol, smoking, a full Scottish breakfast. He knew the risks when he moved up here. But it turns out it wasn't just a small stroke. Folks in Scotland take that in their stride. He also started to get migraine headaches. Now, you're probably like me. If you had a skull from a sunken Spanish galleon hanging in your bar and it already caused the barman to fracture his skull and you and the handyman have a stroke and you're now getting migraines, you wouldn't even go near the thing to dust it. No way. You'd get your wife to do that. And he did. His wife took down the skull to dust it one day, and she survived the day. It was the next day she had a car accident. It was a bad car accident. She was lucky to escape with a fractured skull. Chance is an incredible thing. If you toss a coin long enough, you'd expect 50% of the time you'd hit a tail. But so far, it's just been heads, heads, heads. People in the Western Isles Hotel started to wonder. Staff who touched it had freak accidents. A maid had a window drop out of its frame in her head, and other freak events kept taking place. What's more, remember I said that if Forrester had been told the full story of the skull and the frogman buster crabs, he may never have touched the skull? It turns out that 4 years after he'd brought the skull out of Tobermory Bay, Buster Crab's headless corpse was found in Portsmouth Harbour. Now, during these videos, I normally advertise some product or service that I offer. But this time, my videographer Matt has asked me to advertise my Patreon membership. Why? Well, essentially, it's the Patreon support that pays for Matt. He says that because I didn't take him on this trip, that he's had to deal with out-of-focus footage, audio disturbed by background noise, and all sorts of imperfections in filming. Your support on Patreon can make life easier for this poor Englishman living in Scotland. Matt has to walk 6 miles every day just to watch a game of cricket. For as little as the price of a coffee a month, you can fund a cricket bat for me to smack him over the head with. For the price of 2 coffees a month, I can repeatedly beat him over the head with a curly whirly. 3 coffees a month will allow me to feed his children haggis on a nightly basis until they speak fluent Gaelic. Please, with your support on Patreon, I can help de-anglify an entire English family living in Scotland. Let's do this together. Just click the link top right or in the description below, or go to www.patreon.com/Scotland History Tours. Mull Museum's worth a visit when you're here in Tobermory. Amongst other things, you'll find a display about the sunken galleon from which the mysterious skull came. So, whose skull was it? Apparently, researchers reckoned it was a black woman in her prime. Could it have been the beautiful princess who some say was aboard the ship? Could it have been the paramour of the sunken ship's captain? Was it that freaky woman who read the tarot cards in James Bond, Live and Let Die? You know, the one with Roger Moore in the Everglades and the tobacco chewing sheriff who was a bit of a nutter, and the guy with the snipper for the hand, and it all ended in a voodoo ceremony in a Caribbean island. Actually, she was white. I'm just saying, something spooky was going on. When a new owner bought the hotel in 1984, no one dared to touch the skull. The owner, Phil Baird, thought that this woman deserved to rest in peace. He took the skull from the wall of the bar, carried it to the water's edge, and put it in the sound of Mull from where it had come. Did that get rid of the curse? Hey, CB, I set out in life studying physics. I'm not inclined to stories of the supernatural. There's normally a rational explanation for everything. But I won't lie, as I've been telling this story, a little bit of poo came out. I'm just saying, here in Scotland it's a magical place, a mystical place. And there are things that aren't easily explained, like Loch Ness, the Clootie Well, and the D'Hondt proportional representation voting system. I've made other videos about mystical Scotland, and there's one coming up on screen now. If you enjoyed this video, then like it, share it, and watch the next one. Support the channel by clicking top right to become a Patreon member, or buy me a coffee in the description below. In the meantime, ha' mi an dóchas gwn bí lamb alive. Sherry and Rasta.